Hi, I'm Rachel, and this is my very first vlog. And it took me about 20 minutes to find the right lighting. That was extremely frustrating, and this is a lot harder than it looks. So hopefully the lighting is okay. And I'm in my very messy bedroom, which you really can't see, thankfully. So, the reason that I'm going to start vlogging is because I'm currently fighting cancer. And I have a medical blog on CaringBridge, which I started when this whole cancer journey started. And at first I was really good about writing. I was really good about keeping up with it. And of course it's one of those things that gets pushed aside, and I haven't wrote in a while, and I enjoy writing, and people say that I write well, but I think vlogging is going to be more fun, and I'm going to be able to show you guys some things in my vlogs, hopefully, and I think it will help show more emotion and what I go through. So quickly, I will tell you a little bit about myself. I am 30 years old, and I'm married, and together we have 4 kids. He has 2 kids and I have 2 kids, and we raise all 4 of them. And this year we'll be married for 4 years. Our children are 17, 14, 11, and 7. So we have 1 in high school, 2 in middle school, 1 in elementary. And that's just pure entertainment all on its own. If you have kids, you completely understand. I guess I'll tell you a little bit about me before cancer, give a little bit of background. I am a licensed cosmetologist. I went to a vocational school, which is when you are a junior and senior in high school, you go to the vocational school and you learn a trade at the same time as you are finishing up high school. So I did that, and I went for cosmetology, and I worked as a cosmetologist for 8 years at the same salon. And while I was working and being a single mom, I attended the police academy. And after I attended the police academy, I left my salon and I got a job as a deputy sheriff. And that's where I met my husband. I know it's so cliche, isn't it? Met my husband at work, whatever. But it was kind of cute. He was training me, and he asked my friend about me, and at first I said no because I didn't want to date anybody at work, and he was too cute to resist, so I gave in. So I haven't worked at the sheriff's office in almost 3 years. I got laid off almost 3 years ago, and at the same time I got laid off, he left also, because we couldn't both be laid off, and he has a degree in something else and got a new job, so we're no longer the police. But that brings us to the year that this whole cancer journey started. So in 2010, I had just gotten laid off from the sheriff's office, and I was working at a local salon just 1 day a week, just because I miss doing hair and miss the environment and all of that. So I woke up one Thursday morning and I had some really bad pain in my right knee. And at first I just thought nothing of it because my left knee was what I called my bad knee, and I figured, oh, it's, it's happening to my right knee. So I go to work and I'm telling the owner, my boss, about my leg hurting. It was hurting me so bad that the salon was actually on the second floor, and it was like excruciating to walk up the flight of stairs. So she looks at it and she's like, oh yeah, it's kind of swollen, and maybe you should ice it when you get home and whatever. And nobody, especially me, thought anything of it. So it was sore for, I don't know, maybe a couple of days or a week or something, and the pain went away. So I just figured maybe my husband kicked me in my sleep, or I ran into something, or who knows what. So slowly, over the next 6 to 9 months, there was I guess you could call it a lump that started to grow about 2 inches below my knee on the outside of my leg. And it was very painful at times, and I would actually have my husband rub it. And he's the one who eventually put his foot down and said, you need to go see the doctor. This thing keeps getting bigger. And it was bothering me more and more. So I thought it was just, some regular knee orthopedic problem. I didn't know. So I just went to my regular orthopedic doctor. Well, he x-rayed it, and he said the x-rays looked kind of like a calcium deposit, but he wasn't completely convinced that that's what it was. So he sent me for an MRI. Now, at this time, this is in about March of 2011. So he sent me for an MRI, and the MRI came back, and his office called me, and they said, there's nothing that we can do for you. You need to go see an orthopedic oncologist, and we're going to send you to this doctor who was about an hour away. And of course, at the time I was 27, right? Was I 27? I don't know. I think I was. I was freaking out. I was like, I'm 27. How can I have cancer? This can't be right. So I went to go see this guy in Akron, and the first thing that he said to me was, 9 times out of 10 I can tell from an MRI if something is cancer or not. And he said, you're like that 10% that I can't tell. He said, so what we're going to do is we're going to do an incisional biopsy, which means we're going to put you to sleep. We're going to cut you open right where the tumor is. We're going to take a chunk of it, and we're going to look at it under a microscope right then and there to see if it's cancer, to see if it's not cancer. And since you're already asleep, if it's not cancer, then we'll go ahead and we'll remove it. If it is cancer, we'll leave it in and, do cancer treatment. So we did that procedure in, I think, April. I'm pretty sure it was April. So I wake up from this incisional biopsy completely anticipating them removing this, because of course I think there's no way I have cancer. I don't have cancer. I'm 27. Blah, blah, blah. So I wake up and the lump is still in me. But it's not in me because they think that it's cancer. It's in me because they couldn't tell what it was. So they had to send it away to get pathology on it. And that took, I don't know, a week or two or whatever. And that came back, and they said that it was not cancer. So I felt like a huge weight had been lifted off my shoulders. I felt like I dodged a bullet. I, was extremely just happy. So late June, and I don't know why there was so much time in between those surgeries. Anyways, June 30th to be exact, I don't know why I remember that, of 2011, they removed the lump. And we thought that was it. We thought that was the end of it, that it was some random weird lump that grows in people's legs, and I would never deal with it again. Until almost a year later. It was May of 2012. I was sitting at my son's baseball game, and I got that pain that I knew only from the lump that had been in my leg. The pain that nothing else ever felt like. And I thought to myself, wait a minute. That's not right. I don't have a lump anymore. Why does that hurt? So instinctively, I put my hand on my leg and I felt a lump. And I couldn't even believe it. And I grabbed my husband's hand and I said, feel this. And he just looked at me, just completely, I don't want to say confused, but like with a, are you freaking kidding me kind of look on his face. And I just looked at him and I said, really? It's back? Why is it back? So after talking, we decided that I was going to seek a different doctor. I did not care for the first doctor who I had had for multiple reasons that we won't go into. So I decide to go to I guess I want to say world-renowned Cleveland Clinic, because everybody talks about it and everybody raves about it. And it's only about an hour away. So I found who I thought would be the perfect doctor. He was the head of the musculoskeletal department, and this was right up his alley. So I went and I saw him, and he, of course, first said, let's get some pictures and some x-rays and some MRIs and see what's going on in there, and let me get the pathology slides from the first doctor in Akron. So I had the slides sent to Cleveland, and a couple of weeks later, I don't know how many weeks later, 2 weeks later, maybe, I don't know. This was July 2012. The doctor in Cleveland called me and he said, they were wrong in Akron. This is absolutely cancer. And he used the same slides from Akron to give me that diagnosis. The same slides that Akron had used to tell me that it wasn't cancer. So of course he starts talking about, oh, we just have to cut it out and it's no big deal and this and that and the other. Well, at 20, how the heck old was I? That was last year. 29 years old. 29 years old. To be told you have cancer, that's a big deal. It's not a big deal. I don't care if all you have to do is go in there and cut it out. It's still a big freaking deal, okay? So, after talking to him, I had ended up at the emergency room for something completely different, and they found a suspicious spot on the bottom of my right lung. And they made such a big fuss about this spot on the bottom of my lung. And they said, you have to go see this lung doctor and you're going to get a lung biopsy and this and that and the other. And I was just like, what is up with these people, like, making such a big deal out of this? So I went and I saw this lung doctor, and he was like, okay, we have to do this lung biopsy. So the beginning of August, I went and did a lung biopsy, which first of all, let me explain how they do the lung biopsy. They do it while you're laying on the bed for the CT scan, because it's CT guided, so they have to have the CT images to make sure that they're going into the right spot. So I was laying face down on this cold hard metal bed, and they gave me a little bit of something to make me loopy, but they won't like put you all the way to sleep because you have to be coherent enough to hold your breath and follow commands and all that fun stuff. So I'm like completely aware of everything that's happening to me, and they stick a needle into my back, into this spot in my lung, and they like suck out the inside or whatever, and that's how they get the stuff to do the pathology. Well, of course they had to go in a couple of times and whatever, and their main concern with me actually was bleeding, because the spot was close to a main artery, and they keep you for 4 hours after the procedure, and they will x-ray you and stuff. Well, I started to get some pain right before the 4-hour mark, and I thought, oh well, it's just because those pain meds, you know, just wore off or whatever. Well, they x-rayed me and they said, oh no, it's because your lung has collapsed. Now, it sounds, I mean, I don't want to say that doesn't sound bad, but it was only collapsed like 5% or something. Like, it wasn't like horribly bad, but you still get the same treatment whether it's collapsed 100% or it's collapsed 5%. They stick a tube in your chest, and what happens, because the inside of your lung is sticky, like here's the wall of your lung and it's sticky, and your actual lung tissue will stick to this. Well, when it's collapsed like this, they put this tube and it's like sucks the air out, so it like brings it back up and makes it stick to it. Well, let me tell you about that chest tube. I'm in this room that's got these huge bright lights. I'm laying on this cold metal bed, and they numb like the outside of my skin, which they shouldn't have even bothered, because when they shove this tube inside, it hurts like no other. I can't even begin to explain the pain of that, and I've had a natural childbirth with no drugs. So they said that I had to have the chest tube in for, I think it was like 12 hours or something, I don't remember. So I was in the hospital for like 2 or 3 days because of this whole ordeal. And that happened like Thursday, Friday, Saturday. So then Monday came around, and I get a phone call from my family doctor, and they said, oh, we have your results of your lung biopsy, you need to come see the doctor. And I thought it was kind of strange that my family doctor was calling me, because I assumed the lung doctor would call me. He's the one who ordered the biopsy, he's the lung dude, but whatever. They let my family doctor give me the bad news. So I go in there, and he tells me that it's a metastasis from the cancer in my leg. And although I knew what that word meant, I can't even explain like that moment. I just knew that everything was going to be different. I knew that was a game changer. So, after that, we did some research. Now, I guess I didn't tell you, the cancer that I have is called sarcoma, which is a soft tissue cancer, which is unheard of because it's rare. It only happens in about 1% of all adult cancers. And once we started researching and realized how rare sarcoma is, and then how it changes things once it's metastasized, we knew that we had to go. We couldn't go anywhere near home. Like, we had to find a specialist. So we found Dr. Mayerson and OSU in Columbus, which is about 3 hours from home. So I called there, made the appointment, and I went to go see him. And it was a very unexpected outcome at this appointment. He said that, all we have to do is take this tumor out of your leg and take the tumor out of your lung, and you'll be fine, and no big deal. He said there would be no chemo. He said there would be no radiation. He said, just a couple surgeries. And I thought, wow, how lucky am I? Like, that's awesome, right? So I had actually had the pathology slides from Akron that were in Cleveland sent down to Columbus, even though, like, I'd already done it before he told me not to do it. So, like, they were already en route to him. Well, it was a good damn thing that they were, because he called me about a week before my surgery was scheduled in September. And he called me a week before, and he said, there's a problem. He said, your whole treatment's gonna have to be different. We looked at the slides, and it's not a low grade, which originally they thought it was a low grade, which is like a slow growing, non-moving type of cancer. He said it's actually an intermediate grade, which means that you'll need chemo and radiation and yeah. So that quickly things change, and so I started my first set of chemo the last week of September, and I got doxorubicin and ifosfamide, also known as AIM, if you're familiar with cancer treatment. I was hospitalized for this chemo because it had to be given to me for 5 days straight. The one chemo was for 4 days. The other chemo was for 3 days, and then I had to get just another preventative medicine. So I was in the hospital from anywhere from 5 to 6 days every time I got chemo. I got chemo in September, October, and November. So I had it 3 times. And I actually did fairly well with it. I mean, I lost my hair, of course. I had almost no nausea. I would be tired only for a couple of days, and then my blood booster shot would kick in, and I'd be out running town, going to the store, visiting friends, all that fun stuff. And originally I was supposed to get radiation, supposed to be chemo radiation surgery. Well, the chemo didn't work because sarcoma is a butthead and is chemo resistant. So they decided they had to get the main tumor out of me. At this point, that was what was most important. So I had my leg surgery on December 10th, and they removed my gross cancer tumor, and he actually removed my entire fibula bone. Yes, you can live without a fibula bone before you ask me. He just had to reattach a ligament because there's a ligament that is attached to the top of your fibula, so he put this ginormous screw in my tibia to attach this ligament to. I was on crutches for 8 weeks. I was about to go postal and hurt somebody. I was going crazy. I now have to drive with my left foot because he also removed my peroneal nerve, which is the nerve that gives you the ability to lift your toes. So I have drop foot in my right foot, and I can't drive with it, so I drive left-footed now. I know, it's funny, isn't it? Okay, so anyways, back to my story. This is gonna be a really long video. I'm sorry. So while I was in the hospital for my leg surgery, they decided to tell me, hey, guess what? We think you have some metastasis in your bones. Really? Really? They sent me for MRIs. They sent me for bone scans. Thankfully, I was on morphine because of the surgery, and I just slept through all of it. So they dropped that bombshell, and they said, we think you have cancer in your bones. I'm trying to think what happened next. Sorry, I have chemo brain. So basically, these spots were being strange because they were not showing on the PET scan, which a PET scan is like a cancer scan. It's a whole body scan, and they give you this sugar dye, and the sugar dye reacts with the cancer and it glows. Well, these spots in my bones weren't showing on the PET scan, but they were showing on MRIs, they were showing on CT scans, they were showing on bone scans. They really had no clue what it was. And they even said, we don't know what this is. And seriously, it's 2013. How can you not know what it is? Isn't that insane? So they said you have to go for a bone biopsy. We're going to do a bone biopsy in your T11, which is your thoracic vertebrae, which is from here to here, is your thoracic cavity. Because that's like the biggest spot and the easiest spot. So on January 2nd, Happy New Year, had a bone biopsy, and that was one of the most painful things I'd ever gone through as well. Luckily it was short-lived. pain. It was only like a day or so. So I get the bone biopsy results back, and they say it's not cancer. We celebrated, we were ecstatic, we were thrilled. And then it all changed when I went back down for an appointment a couple weeks later. My doctor was not completely convinced, and he said, we're going to rescan in a month. We're going to wait a month. We're going to rescan. We're going to see what these spots are doing. So we did. We rescanned in February, and all the spots grew. Fun times. Fun times. Yeah. So he said, we're going to do chemo. We're going to do a different chemo. We're going to do gemcitabine and Taxotere. But I don't gotta be in a hospital for 5 days. Thank God. I get Gemzar. A chemo cycle is a 21-day cycle. So I get Gemzar on day 1. And then on day 8, I get Gemzar and Taxotere. And then I get 2 weeks off. So I just did, I did the first round, and this past Tuesday I just did my second, I'm in my second round. Oh, sorry. I'm in my second round. So I just got Gemzar on Tuesday. And this coming Tuesday I'll get Gemzar and Taxotere. If I don't know why I thought that this was a good idea. If this chemo doesn't work, they don't have anything else for me. My only choice at that point would be some clinical trials, which a clinical trial is just like it sounds. It's a trial that has not been approved. They don't know if it'll work. You're basically like a guinea pig. I get rescanned after this cycle, so I'll get chemo next week, and then I get scans 2 weeks later. I think I got an eyelash in my eye. Maybe if I wasn't crying like a baby. But, I was supposed to have lung surgery. And when the heck was that? End of February. And I should have had it like 10 days ago for the second one. Because now, oh yes, I forgot to tell you. Not only is there a spot in my right lung, there's 2 spots in my left lung. So no lung surgery, because why do lung surgery when you got cancer in your bones? Duh. They say that only 7% of sarcoma patients have metastasis in the bones. Why the frick couldn't I get these odds in the lottery? Why do I gotta get these odds in the cancer world? Seriously. I get the 1%er freaking cancer, And then on top of it, oh my lord. I mean, I'd much rather been a millionaire. Come on. So, the thing about me that you'll learn through my vlogs is that I'm loud, I'm outspoken, I'm opinionated, I'm strong-willed, I might cry for 5 seconds and then I just get pissed off all over again and keep fighting. So, here's my port. This, I don't know how well you can really see it. Can you see that? That's my port. There's 2 ports there. This is the catheter that goes into my jugular. Does that gross you out? I love my port. This is where they put the chemo in, and they don't gotta poke me in my veins, and I love it, and it's awesome. So basically, this video was to get you all up to speed on where I've been, where I'm at. I don't know where I'm going because sarcoma is a jerk. Oh yeah, that's what I forgot to tell you. I was a full-time college student before sarcoma. When I got laid off at the sheriff's office, I went back to college full-time, and I was going for American Sign Language to be an interpreter for the deaf. And of course I had to drop out. Yeah, because why can I have anything in life, right? My hair's falling out. You probably won't be able to see it. Can you see? Oh, you can see. Look at it. Look. And then, oh, that's a lot. And if you just, you don't even have to barely touch it. See it? Okay, I'm gonna stop doing that because it's gonna keep falling out. And, ugh. And I'm trying to keep it as long as I can because it's not any easier the second time around. So, the next time you see me, I might have my wig on because if all this stuff falls out, look at how curly it is. Oh, it's falling out. I gotta stop touching it. I gotta stop touching it. I might have my beautiful red wig on. Then again, I might not. I don't know. So, I don't know if there's anything else I want to say to you. I will say that it's really weird sitting in a room all by yourself talking to a camera. Yeah. I don't know. I guess that's it for right now. Keep following me and subscribe to my channel. So you can see all my videos. I'm gonna try to post what the heck am I saying? Oh my god. I'm gonna try to post a video next week. Just a little snippet, not anything like weird and crazy, of me getting chemo. And what else? Is that it? And I'm going to try to see, there's so much stuff that I can't video. I think it's going to be frowned upon. Who cares? I don't follow the rules anyways. This says that this is now a 40-minute video, so I'm going to stop talking because that's very, very long. So I'll see you guys soon. Bye.